All right, what up, Ebikes? So it is actually pretty late tonight, but I felt like just coming up here and hitting on a topic that we haven't talked about in a while. I was gonna do the state laws of all 50 states. We got Washington laws done, and then I've kind of been slacking since then. So today we're gonna go back, and I had some requests for Ohio. So I think we had the most votes for that. So today we're going to be covering the e-bike laws in Ohio. And I appreciate you guys writing in those requests. So be sure down in the comments of this video to put down the state you live in if you'd like me to cover the e-bike laws in your state. So hang tight, guys. We're looking at the e-bike laws of Ohio right after this. So Ohio actually has pretty good e-bike laws. They just passed a law that went into effect March 2019, so just last year. So I don't know if I'm going to give them a complete 2 fists up, the full caligulator, maybe 1 fist at an elbow. Is that half a fist? I don't know. But anyways, the new laws that they passed are awesome. They had very archaic e-bike laws before they passed these new ones. E-bikes were not allowed to be ridden on the sidewalks. You couldn't even ride them in bike lanes on streets. They had to be ridden in the actual street. You couldn't take them on any bike trails, paved walkways, or parks, things like that. So they really got with it. The current times updated those laws. Many of them are very similar to the Washington state laws, but a few of them vary a little bit. So let's kind of run through the main basics of the Ohio state e-bike laws. So a lot of this did follow the federal e-bike laws, and they did do the 3 classifications just like Washington state. So class 1 and class 2 e-bikes, the classifications are by speed. Those are regulated at 20 miles an hour. Class 1s don't have the throttle, class 2s do. Now they also have a class 3 e-bike. Those actually are regulated like a scooter or a moped. They are not allowed for anybody under the age of 16. You do have to have a helmet to wear them. They are not allowed on bike paths, sidewalks, trails, walking paths, anything like that. So they are actually treated more like a motorized vehicle, although you still do not have to have a license, registration, or insurance to ride one. And these were signed into law by Governor Kasich in December. So one of the things that they say here is that starting on March 8th of last year, Ohio is allowing the use of e-bikes, class 1 or class 2, with the electric motor engaged on the cocking Adina bike. I'm sure those people in Ohio are familiar with the cocking Adina bikeway. Other paved surfaces, bike paths, shared bike paths. So that's also walking trails, things like that. So that means that you can basically use the throttle, or you can use the pedal assist when you're on bike paths, trails, things like that. Now the one place they have limited the use of the motor basically on an electric bike is on sidewalks, and that's different. Washington state doesn't have any exemption. I did hear that Oregon doesn't allow you to use the throttle on sidewalks, so that's a little bit different. Ohio, as far as I understand, you cannot use the motor in any way, pedal assist or throttles, when you're on the sidewalk. You just got to do it yourself. So that I kind of give them a little bit. That's why they only get that half a fist. And they are excluded on the sidewalks in certain areas like uptown Athens, which is like a shopping district, I guess. And all-wheeled vehicles are excluded there. We have the same thing in Washington state. Towns are allowed to exclude the use of bikes in certain downtown shopping districts and things like that. And then it says right here, which is where people a lot of times you get conflicts. The big popular bike path right here, the paved trail, we call it the loop. And that actually I've had people, because there are signs that say no motorized vehicles. And although e-bikes, obviously, they have a motor, electric, but nonetheless a motor. So technically they are motorized vehicles, but legally they are not. They are bicycles, and that is federal law. E-bikes cannot be regulated as motorized vehicles. They must be regulated as bicycles. So the sign on the cocking trail right now that says no motorized vehicles allowed, they said is actually out of compliance with state law right now. So you guys can actually disregard that. Hopefully, since March of last year, they've updated the signage and things like that to reflect the actual law, which says that you can hot cocking all you want on that bike trail in Ohio. So wherever the hell that is, you guys enjoy. And so then it just goes on to talk about the impetus for Ohio State, which is pretty much going on in all the states across the country, to get the regulations of e-bikes in is because the popularity is just skyrocketing right now. They said they've seen a 70% increase from 2016, 2017 to 2018. They don't even have numbers for the last couple of years, but my guess would be probably more than 100% increase. Is that possible? Does the math work right? I believe so. I believe if it more than doubles, that's more than 100% increase, right? So get off my back. Damn. So if you guys live in Ohio, then you should be happy to know that you basically can grab yourself a Class 1 or a Class 2 e-bike and you can ride that any place that a regular bicycle can ride. Pretty much no restrictions. The bike lanes, you know, on the roadway itself, the sidewalks, although you do have to disengage the motor, all paved bike paths, things like that. And starting last year, the federal government also basically opened up all federal trails that bikes are allowed on. Now e-bikes are allowed on them as well. Damn, man, I got a little bit cotton mouth going on. And there's other ways you can get cotton mouth than that, I think. So don't judge me, man. Don't assume. Because when you assume, it makes an ass out of you. Not me. It makes an ass out of you, man. That's what I always say. All right, guys. Sorry if this got a little bit wacky. Like I said, it's late at night, but I did want to jump in, get those Ohio State laws covered. So you're welcome. And like I said, if you've got a request for the state you live in, I do believe some people have asked for Brooklyn, New York, and Oregon. So we may do Oregon next since it's right next door here. But anyways, let me know what states you're in and we will get to it. All right, guys, you have a great day. If you want to check out some e-bikes, you can check out my website. I will put a link right underneath of this video. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Get out there and do some riding, and I'll catch you right back here on the next video. Peace. Oh, and P.S. guys, just for clarification, it is the Hawking Adena Bikeway. There you go, guys. Freaking Hawking. That ain't right.